He had first-hand experience under a complete and utter blanket communist regime for 4 years, and he's going to talk to us about it. Please welcome Mr. Jake Towne.
Thank you, Sam. The last 4 years of my life, like you said, were over in Shanghai, in China. I was an expatriate engineer working in the semiconductor industry, and in March I returned back home because I feel that our liberties are really under attack. I'm running for Congress as an unaffiliated private citizen because I feel that the Democratic and the Republican parties are, number one, accountable for the damage to our liberties over the last few years. Number two, my only real chance of winning and spreading the message is to appeal directly to the people, regardless of which party they're from. Now, before moving to China, I'll be honest with you and say that I was completely politically apathetic. So what happened to me while I was over there? Shanghai is a city of 20 million people, and when I first arrived there, I couldn't speak the language, and I traveled around the city, and I wanted to go to church. And there's not that many churches in China, so I found a few. Some were pretty far away, but I traveled there, and I started going to church. And as I walked in, I realized, and actually the pastor announced as the service started,
wasn't hot when we started
out. If you do not have a foreign passport, you are not allowed to be there. So it was only, it was segregated to people that could English away from the local people.
I don't care about it.
Second,
let me go talk to Renee.
after a couple times there,
because I don't know, Sam wanted to speak.
There's 2 entrances, and right after you walked underneath it, you'd have a little camera watching you, and you used to track yourself. So I had this joke, I'd say, if I ever want to know how many Sundays I missed, I could just go and ask, you know, the Chinese government, and they could tell me the deal. Actually, having walked through and driven through Lancaster, I have to say, Lancaster is actually worse than Shanghai, China in terms of camera coverage. In China, in Shanghai, you've got them in the main public areas, but you don't have them at every single intersection. You don't have them looking in on private people's homes, on private shops in most cases. In a lot of cases, they actually just use people to monitor. They're still kind of cheap over there. But now in China's case, the same reason is given to the population as what is told to the people of Lancaster.
This is great.
People here are told that it's for the public security. But it's no secret to the Chinese people that their government does not want them to form organized groups to cause any economic or political unrest. That's the real reason. And actually, there in 2009, it's far better than from 1950 to about 1980 under Mao Zedong. Under Mao Zedong, the communists built a totalitarian state where everyone spied on everyone else. Those who did not conform were to say public confessions for the smallest of violations, and even for thought crimes. Many were sent to work camps to die, and the family unit was all but destroyed. Before the invention of surveillance cameras in communist East Germany, about 1 out of every 100 people were either volunteered or were compelled by their government to become an informer for the dreaded secret police called the Stasi. They spied on their families, their friends, customers, and neighbors. People were whisked away in the middle of the night to be taken away to work or to be prosecuted or to be shot. If we look at Stalin's Soviet Union and its Gulag system, the evil KGB acted in the same manner. Same in Pinochet's Chile, same in the Khmer Rouge of Cambodia, and so on and so on. As a matter of fact, when many think of evil totalitarianism, what they think of is secret spy networks, just like what we have here in Lancaster. With the misuse of modern technology provided by Bosch and other private companies, what once took tens of thousands of informers, it can now be achieved by a few companies in cooperation with the government. This surveillance is un-American, and let me explain why. But first, it may be true that many do not feel scared by the encroachment of the police state. Many probably view that these cameras are mere nuisances because they have been tricked into believing that Big Brother is necessary and helpful for the public safety, and because many still enjoy a high level of material comfort.